On a 1,997 square kilometer plot of land known as Shenzhen, nature is thriving. The coming of autumn and winter seasons witnessed the return of migratory birds. On the mudflats near the Shenzhen Bay Park metro station, countless numbers of birds gathered and foraged at low tide, as did wildlife enthusiasts with their binoculars and telephoto cameras. Several expats, including Colombian biologist Isaac Cohen, were also among them. They nodded greetings to the local photographers and then joined them in hours of waiting and searching for the birds.
Yeah, it's like two options. We can just stay here, wait, or go to see if we can find the hoopoes and then come back. What's that? This morning we went first to the bay, Shenzhen Bay, but the tide was already up, so we knew that in this park, in the mangrove, the hoopoe has been showing up, so we decided to come to the Futian Mangrove Park and wait for the hoopoe to come. Dorian redstart. The redstart is right there in this tree. Oh, it's a sunbird. Oh my God. Where did it go? Meanwhile, we spotted a lot of different species like the Dorian redstart, which is a very, very beautiful bird that visits the city. We saw snipes, then some spoonbills arrived, some egrets and red shanks and green shanks. So it was a very, very agitated morning. Then the hoopoe arrived and it's around. It's not getting very close, but we are waiting patiently to get a nice picture of the hoopoe. So the male is around. The male is very beautiful. Nice dive. I sit down on a rock or I hide in the bushes for hours and hours and hours, expecting to see one bird or two or whatever. Sometimes they don't come. Sometimes you see the same ones all the time, the same species, and you just want to see something new. And sometimes it's 1 week or 2 weeks before you can get to see something interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting and it's part of the adventure. It's part of being a wildlife photographer, right? Expecting for the right moment to come.
In spite of being the rapidly developing and young metropolis that it is, Shenzhen is still home to a rich variety of animals and plants. According to a relevant investigation conducted by the Shenzhen Municipal Planning and Natural Resources Bureau, Shenzhen has recorded 585 species of terrestrial vertebrate animals, including 15 species of the nation's first-class protected animals, such as the pangolin, black-faced spoonbill, and the small Indian civet, as well as 78 species of second-class protected animals, including the white-throated kingfisher, Chinese huamei, black-throated laughing thrush, collared scops owl, black kite, and the western osprey. The city has also recorded a total of 2,086 species of terrestrial plants, including 2 species of the nation's first-class protected plants and 33 species of second-class protected plants. Yet in Cohen's lens, the statistics on Shenzhen's biodiversity are more vividly displayed in the form of photos. A great cormorant hunts flathead gray mullets. A male common kingfisher catches a fish as a gift for its future spouse. A white-leaped tree viper devours a tree frog. A black-faced spoonbill shows off its yellow crest during the breeding season. A great egret is observed in its tutu-like dress-breeding plumage. A singing Chinese huamei, a nocturnal collared scops owl, an elusive greater cuckoo, a massive fish owl, a hidden Indian forest skink, a defensive banded bullfrog, the dimorphous Darien redstart, a yellow bittern pretends to be a reed, a juvenile peasant-tailed Jasana forages in a water lettuce pond. Cohen, as a biologist, has been able to record the local species and biodiversity of Shenzhen from both subjective and scientific perspectives. He also printed his photos and posted them in his classroom to help his students better understand the city's amazing and diverse nature.
So what mechanisms do cells have to communicate to one another? How are these processes related to communication?
He's also the soccer coach, Les Severe. Yeah, he is very dedicated to teaching biology and environmental science.
So Mr. Rice's class is very reactive, and this is actually can be seen by his PPT actually provide us with multiple examples that can help us understand better.
印象中他就是为人特别好，一开始没有想到，就是这么一个教科学生物的还可以弹吉他、唱歌唱得那么好。
At school, Cohen is popular among his students. His photos were auctioned at a charity bazaar at his school's last year's Christmas carnival.
200 once, 220, 230, 250.
So Isaac is first and foremost is our biology teacher here at the school, and we thank him very much. He really motivates the students, and he also plays in the band with our students and showcases a lot of his skills as well. We're very fortunate to have him on our staff.
Cohen also keeps posting photos and articles on his social media account and on local media outlets, educating citizens on ecological equilibrium, bird migration, water resources conservation, and released animals. Last July, Cohen started to publish his wildlife photos and articles in Shenzhen Daily's weekly Discover Shenzhen column. The contents were also published on the newspaper's new media platforms, attached with Chinese translations and recordings read by Cohen himself. The column has gained much popularity since its launch. The articles were not only reposted several times by the Shenzhen Release official WeChat account, but also got published on the Shenzhen channel of the Xieshi.cn app starting last November, which is the first time for an expat in Shenzhen to open a column on the platform.
It's an honor, it's a huge honor to be published in that platform. I know it's a very important platform, and now yesterday I got the news that I have my own column for my articles in the platform, so I'm very happy, and that motivates me to keep on working hard on my articles and to keep publishing every week a new species so everybody can see the beautiful fauna that it's in our city. Right now I'm trying to show like the most common birds that people can find, but now we are in the period of the migration, so showing also the animals that are coming in the current migration. It's really cool. Everybody's happy about having all of these birds here, so maybe talking about the hoopoe or maybe talking about the red-starred. Yeah, that could be a good one, but I think the next one is going to be about the spoonbills. There's one spoonbill.
During the past migratory season, Shenzhen not only witnessed the return of many common species of ducks, shorebirds, cormorants, and gulls, but was also visited by some rarely seen species, including the great knot, Eurasian hoopoe, American widgeon, Baikal teal, whiskered tern, peasant-tailed jasana, plumbeous water redstart, purple heron, greater scaup, and the common pochard. While keeping a close eye on birdwatching news with his friends, Cohen also kept recording local amphibians, reptiles, and insects to enrich his biological encyclopedia, as well as to collect more writing materials for his column. He hopes to publish all of his articles as a book and to show to the world the beauty of Shenzhen.
Normally we see here maybe 3 or 4 different species of snakes. The yellow keelback, the redneck keelback, the common rat snake, and the green tree viper. During the night we can see the green tree viper easily, and during the day it's very common to see very often the yellow keelback. Today we were actually looking for the yellow keelback. The first time we saw a snake here was actually a redneck keelback, around the same area and around the same time. And it's very common to see them swimming by the pond and getting very close to the shores, maybe finding some frogs. What is the frog? What is the frog? And then we saw it, the snake was eating the frog. Today we were not lucky, but that's how nature is. One day you see something, the other day you don't. It's a matter of being patient. It's a very beautiful place with great potential. Since the moment we arrived, we started hearing some birds and animals around, so it's a place definitely full of life. There's a lot of frogs and birds, probably some snakes. We found a lizard as well, so it's very beautiful next to the ocean, some nature, so it must be very, very diverse. It was very exciting to see those trees, so old, so full of history. It's more than 200-year-old tree. So that was a really nice experience to be able to find nature that is so old on a very, very big city like Shenzhen, where you just imagine that everything is just cut down or disappear because of the city expansion, but it's actually very well preserved and very nice to still see some of these ancient trees around. All of the movement in the city is leading the animals to move around.
Oh, yeah.
Cohen is in close touch with local biologists and scholars. Last July, he visited the Yoshi Valley and Shades Garden of Fairy Lake Botanical Garden at the invitation of Dr. Zhang Li, a local bryologist who won the Grola Award 2021. He also made several nighttime visits to Meiling Mountain with local nature and history scholar Nan Jiao Su to observe nocturnal species.
I have found a black-capped kingfisher. It's very rare, difficult to find in the city. Why was it so far? This place is fascinating. This place is awesome. I'm very surprised to see all of these things, and you will never imagine that you are in Shenzhen and that you have this park in Shenzhen. I understand the restrictions and I understand the protection, the level of protection that the park has. Basically, I'm astonished about the whole environment, but I am very happy that I saw a bird that I never seen before. It's the black-capped kingfisher.
Cohen's wildlife photos have been recognized and commended thanks to his outstanding photography skills, deep understanding of animal behavior, and rich biology knowledge. At last year's third Expat's Eye Shenzhen photo contest, he submitted a photo series entitled Wildest Shenzhen that contains 10 photos showing the wildest behaviors of animals, such as hunting and mating, and won first prize of the contest's nature category.
Shenzhen is definitely a fascinating city where you can find absolutely anything that you want to find. Aside from the things that you may find in a big city, you just have so much nature and you are surrounded by mountains and trees and so much wildlife. This is a fascinating place to be. Fresh water, salt water, animals, plants of all kinds, uncountable amount of species around everywhere, and just 5 minutes away from the CBD or 10 minutes away from the CBD, you can find the park, you can find the mountain, you can find the place to visit, and you can just clear your mind and stay away from everything. I am actually very sad that I am going to move away from this city that I have been calling home for 5 years, and I have so many projects and I love the nature and I am exploring, and every day I find new species and every time I find new places to visit. So it is going to be very difficult for me to just move away from all of this beauty that we have in Shenzhen. I will be very close and I will like to stay in touch with the city, come back to visit and still have my projects going on. I'm very, very happy to have lived in Shenzhen for these past 5 years, and I dare to say this is one of my favorite cities in the world. Shenzhen is absolutely fascinating, it's amazing. I am nothing but grateful with the city and with all of the things that the city offered me while I lived here, and just more than happy to come back and keep on working for this beautiful place and keep on exploring the mountains, keep on exploring the parks, keep on exploring all of the beautiful wildlife that we have here, and keep on working on my articles and just share this amazing city with the world and share all of these fascinating animals and plants with the planet so everybody sees how beautiful Shenzhen is.